Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jensen. I'm down here in the corner. Hello. So this is our syllabus and course overview for CCJ3701, Research Methods in Criminology. So this is our splash page. Many of my courses are organized in a similar manner. So as you scroll down, you will see that I have all the modules kind of stacked underneath, and you have links to the syllabus and data. So I'm going to show you a couple of things first just to get you situated in the class. We're going to go through your syllabus and show you some tips and tricks. So again, here is my contact information. There is that famous Google Voice phone number that I promised you, and you'll also find that in the syllabus. You can call that number or text that number, and I will respond as quickly as I can. I may not always be able to respond via voice call, but you can always text me too, and I can try to call you back. That connects to my personal cell phone. So email is a great way to contact me as well, and you'll find my email in the syllabus or in this link here. I want to also show you this last tab because it's easily forgotten in the first few weeks of class. It says datasets. When you click on this dataset tab, this is where you're going to find all the datasets for our class. So basically we have about 12 or so different datasets that we use for labs, and that we also use for assignments, and that you could end up using for your final paper. So here you'll find what we call code books and files for datasets, and each of these little tabs have different links where you can actually download data and download code books, and each tab is named with whatever study that is. So here we have the adolescent health data and the children's health data. You see all the files that are ready to go in SPSS, as well as the code books that give you lists of variables that are available in those files. Here we have the general social survey. And this is data. We have data for Lab 6, data for Lab 2. The interpersonal violence study. LEMAS, which is basically called the Law Enforcement Management and Administrative Survey Project. We have the Police Public Contact Survey from the Department of Justice. We also have the National Neighborhood Crime Study. So we have a lot of files in here that you'll want to kind of keep track of, especially if you download the software for purchase to your hard drive. If you're needing these files, normally they are stored on the research drive at University of Florida while you are in the apps.ufl.edu version of the software. But if you're using a regular installed version on your hard drive, you will need to go get these files from these places in order to complete the labs and have the items that you need to work. So I just wanted to show that to you first and foremost, that this is where you go get some of the files you need. So just remember, it's on the home page and it's under datasets. Just a quick reminder on that. So these are the modules. We'll get into them in just a few moments, but first let's look at the syllabus. So this is our syllabus. Again, the purpose of the course is to give you experience in evaluating and conducting research in the fields of criminology and criminal justice. So you need to have a basic understanding of statistics and research methods if you're going to consume information and be able to be a practitioner in the criminal justice field and do research. So you want to be able to search for, read, and critically evaluate research. So we're going to look at some articles and examples of that. And additionally, you need to know how to conduct research, how to collect data, how to analyze data, and how to present those findings. Those are the biggies in the class. So mostly we're going to work on the principles of research design and the methods of data analysis. And then the classroom portion will cover the concepts in research, and then the laboratory portion of the class will give you practice on basic statistics to apply your knowledge from class, and eventually use a unique research question which is going to be developed into your topic for your final paper. Okay, so that's just a basic about the course. Again, there are my office hours, my email, jensent@ufl.edu. Pretty easy to find in the address book too. Jensent, and that's JENSONT@ufl.edu. Okay, so right here is my bio if you care to read that. And again, just a quick mention that we have required software. So SPSS version 26, you can use version 24 or 25. They work perfectly fine. If they are cheaper, buy those. But again, you do not have to buy any software. Some students like to try the free version first on apps.ufl.edu to see kind of how they like it. And then even maybe at some point during the semester, maybe you just want a version for yourself on your laptop, you can certainly do that. So that's another reason why I don't have a textbook for this class, is I know some people want to buy the software. And so I try to keep the class very low cost for that reason if they choose to buy a license of the software. But again, that is optional. You do not have to do it. And try the free version first to see how that meets your needs before you end up buying a license. But you're welcome to if you choose to. All right, so that is SPSS, the Grad Pack. Again, the version on apps.ufl.edu is version 26, but they just released version 27 this fall. That will work as well. So these are our learning objectives. So we want to be able to be an informed consumer of social science research, hone in our research and writing skills, assembling it into a personal question of interest, do basic and intermediate and statistical analyses of data and using SPSS, being proficient in that. We want to formulate research questions and design studies to test those questions out. You need to learn how to communicate your findings, how to provide statistical results, evaluate information, doing quantitative analyses, and using a software package to do that. So again, just realize the world is full of statistics, and this class is kind of bigger than the whole major and the whole class. It should give you a layman's terms version of how to do research and statistics in many areas, not just criminology or social sciences. Okay, assignments and labs. Let's talk about that. So almost every week in the semester, you're going to have to do some assignments and labs, but I'm not here to torture you. I'm just here to make sure you get practice in the skills, because if you don't know how to recode a variable, you will not be able to write your research paper. It's that simple. So I have to make sure you recode and recode and recode. You pull stuff apart, you shove stuff together, you reorganize things, you run different statistics, you get practice on how to interpret what those mean and what they tell us. So you need lots of practice in those labs. So take the labs very seriously, because they are building a skill set that you need to do your final paper. It gives you the hands-on experience you need, and it is essential to doing well in the class. These are your training and practice, so do not skip the labs or the assignments. They will also help you build and create your final topic for your paper. So you can even use some of the things we do in labs for your final paper, so you may find that convenient. I do not have quizzes or exams, except for a brief statistics review that we do at the beginning of the semester, just to refresh your skills and knowledge on stats. I want to see what you remember. It's not there to penalize you. In fact, you can even flunk it and still get an A in the class. I just need to know where you're at and what you remember. We will do a lot of review, because I'm basically planning on you forgetting anything you knew how to do before this class. Statistics, research, software. I'm planning on all of that being evaporated from your brain. So we will review and pretend like you've never learned it, so we can start from scratch. In your paper section drafts projects, we're going to do kind of the first 6 weeks of class is labs, 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 statistics, skills, research. The last 6 weeks of class is paper, paper, paper. We shift gears and we start building that final paper. I give you tons of feedback, tons of editing, so that you can incorporate that into your final draft. And you can collaborate with me live. We can talk on the phone, we can text, you can Zoom schedule, meet with me, so we can do a lot of feedback. So this class, again, has my priority. The more we talk, the more we strategize on how to organize your work, how to get your final paper done with less stress. I'm excited to see your topic coming together. I'm cheering for you, and I want your regular participation. So please do not be afraid to call me and talk to me. And you do need to watch every video. And I promise it will save you stress and time, and it's really important. I'm going to go back to our final research paper. So this is about 60% of your grade in this class. It's not my choice. That's just how it's set up for the department. You will have a paper that kind of looks like a journal article. You're going to have a title page, an abstract, a literature review, theory, a graphical figure, data and methods section, results, statistical tables, discussion, conclusion, and references. It's about a 25-page paper. Make sure you're mindful of the criteria. I have very detailed rubrics as to what I'm looking for, so you can prepare, and I coach you through every section very carefully so you can do as well as you can. You also have to do an anti-plagiarism assignment. I kind of save that for later in the semester when you start writing a literature review and doing a lot more active citation. So I kind of put that at the time where you need it the most, so that way you can have a refresher on how to properly cite. All right, moving forward, these are our modules that we're going to be doing in kind of approximate start and stop dates. So we do about a module a week, and in this class we only have 14 modules. Keep in mind most semesters are 16 weeks, and our semester is shorter because of fall 2020 and COVID and a late start. But even that being said, I try to make this class wrap up right around Thanksgiving. So that way you're done with all the major things you need to complete and you're just working on your final draft of your paper. I try to leave you alone and not give you more stuff to do and let you write and let you edit and finish your sections. I'm still fully available to you to help you, and you can ask questions, but I just try to give you that last week or so to get it done and do as well as you can and not load up your plate with more stuff. So most assignments, quizzes, again, we don't have quizzes except for the stats pretest, but most labs and assignments are due on Sundays by Sunday night. So you have the whole week to get them done. Occasionally you'll see some due on Thursday or Tuesday, just depending on how the week is scheduled or any holidays we have this semester. So keep track of the schedule, which is on the Canvas syllabus page, and I send a lot of reminders and announcements about that too. When possible, you may work ahead, but again, touch base with me to make sure that I'm not making any changes or maybe posting a new lab that I need to put in place before you start. This is a kind of schedule as of right now. You know, a schedule is a plan. Plans can change. And, you know, sometimes I have to make changes based on what happens during the semester. So I'm trying to maintain the schedule as best I can. And if I have to make changes, I announce them in advance and I make sure it doesn't penalize you. So thank you for being flexible and understanding. Here's the important stuff, the grades. So these are the grades, the letter grade and the percentages nearby. And there are information on grading policies and stuff below for University of Florida if you want to go see some of that. Over here it kind of shows you labs are about 16% of your grade. The paper projects are about 20%. And the research paper is 64%, which feels really heavy and really scary. But because the paper projects actually help you actively write it from about mid-October forward, I try to put you in the best possible place to finish and finish as well as you can with lots of feedback. So I want you to write a good paper. I'm cheering for you and I want that to happen. This is a Gordon Rule course, as I mentioned in the earlier video, so you have to write this big, hefty paper in order to meet your research requirement at the University of Florida for your degree. So this is part of fulfilling that requirement. Okay, course policies, all the boring stuff. There are no textbooks that you have to get. You have to get software, again, using the free version or a version for purchase. Make sure you communicate, and I will try to respond to you within 48 hours. Use good security practices. Don't share your password. Don't use slang. Be formal in how you talk. You can send me screenshots of stuff you're doing. You can even text me screenshots, and I can look at those as well. And I can usually find your error in your screenshot or your syntax very fast. So you can do that too. This is just kind of etiquette guidelines, making sure we all treat each other nicely. We have our health and wellness, teaching and tutoring center, writing studio. You're welcome to throw some of your drafts in front of them to help with the editing part. Library support, health and wellness, all the usual stuff that are supports for you. Student rights and responsibilities, honor code, and so forth, attendance policy. This class is 100% online in 14 modules. It is asynchronous, so you go at your own pace. You do not have to meet with other students. There is no group work. That being said, I do have lab partners that I assign you, and this person is simply a resource, someone that you can contact and check answers with, because the labs are kind of like a math class. You're working on the same data, you're being asked the same questions, you should be getting the same answers. And it really does help to have a buddy that you can maybe text or call or email really quick to say, hey, this is what I got for this variable. Did you get the same answer? It's very, very helpful. Mostly I do partners and duos, but sometimes I have to do groups of 3. So I will assign you a lab partner, but it is your choice whether you want to use that partner or not. It is not required. But most students find a lab partner really helpful in order to kind of crunch through the labs. If you need accommodations for disabilities, please reach out to me and provide me the documentation necessary to set up your accommodation early in the semester. This is where you can go find university recognized reasons for absences. Obviously with COVID and illness, we'll have to navigate that very carefully. If you have to go under quarantine or you have other semester disruptions, please reach out. We'll figure it out. Course technology, help desk, where to get help with that, academic honesty, honor code. We don't necessarily have the same issues with COVID and filming class and having permission to participate visually or orally in the class, so that's kind of not as applicable to us, but it is here for your reference. Assignments, please cite. If you are unsure, just cite. Your course evaluation will happen at the end of the semester, and these are the criminology major outcomes that we're focused on, especially number 3 and 4, analyzing theories, interpreting and evaluating research in criminology. That is this class to a T. So those are all the policies. Over here, this is kind of my Zoom etiquette. So should we meet via Zoom, just make sure you have a charged computer, you can use virtual backgrounds, be on time, have your questions and preparation done in advance. Please be dressed. You don't have to show me your face if you don't want to. We can share screens so I can see your view of SPSS or your paper, and that's fine too. Just be very civil and polite, stay focused and attentive. Don't share the Zoom link or passwords or anything like that. So it's all kind of the usual etiquette you are familiar with. Last but not least, this is what the apps.ufl.edu screen will look like this semester. I recommend using Firefox or Chrome for the best results. And you have to enable the Citrix receiver to be able to work on labs and your own data for the research paper. All files and work will be saved to the M drive, which is permanent student file storage, so you can save all your stuff you're working on to that drive. And I have a whole video that shows you how to do this, but this just kind of shows you that page that you're looking for and where you're going to start signing in to use SPSS. This is our course schedule, so it shows you all of our assignments, labs, due dates. You can see they're mostly due on Sundays with a few Thursdays thrown in there. Yeah, that's the whole class. So just make sure you're working hard, putting in the time for a 4-credit class every week, and doing well. So we'll jump back into the class real briefly here and show you a couple navigation things. So let's go to week 1. So when you click on the first week, you'll see kind of an overview page at the beginning. And I try to have different pictures there so you can kind of keep track of where you were from week to week. It's kind of like a bookmark. Gives you an overview to show you what we're working on. And then you just kind of work left to right through these tabs. So we have our objectives of what we're going to be accomplishing. And then our readings and links to the articles that you need. And I don't have readings all the time, but they are there occasionally, and you'll need them for your assignments. Then I have tons of videos that show you the lectures and the videos and kind of some of the why behind we do what we do. So make sure you watch all of those. And I usually have the times next to them to show you, this is a 7-minute video, this is a 2-minute video. And then finally, your last tab is assignments and labs. So this is kind of your to-do list. Complete lab 1, and then I usually have video links that show you how to get help with lab 1 that will walk you through the steps, as well as where to submit any things like assignments or discussions that you need to turn in for the week. And make sure you follow the instructions really carefully. Again, you can go to modules over here in your navigation and find everything kind of grouped together for the week. So here you have your lab, you have your assignment. Some modules we do just have a lab. Others have a lab and an assignment you need to do. Notice by week 4, you have to submit your topic. So that's coming up pretty soon. So some weeks are a little heavier than others, but I try to space out as best I can your work. We do pick up a lot of steam around mid-October and early November. That's when we really start heavily working on the paper, okay? So you'll want to just make sure you set aside a lot of time in November to do those kinds of activities, because we really start working hard in this class at that time. The final paper is due December 13th, which is the Sunday of finals week. Because I get approximately 50 25-page papers, I have a couple hundred pages of reading to do in order to calculate final grades. I am the only one that scores your paper and scores anything in any of my classes. I have no teaching assistant, so that's why I have the paper coming in a little bit early, because I usually have about 25 to 30 hours of grading for just this class to finish before finals are over. So I will post the scores as I get them. Don't be checking Canvas and driving yourself crazy, but you will see how you do before I post final grades. And hopefully you do really well and you put this class behind you. So good luck this semester. We're all in this together. And just know I've tried to think of everything I can to set you up for success. Please reach out and don't be a stranger. Call me, watch the videos. It's all here for you. Have a great semester and go Gators.